Welcome back to Tip Tuesday with the two T's. We've got Dawn, who is a registered dietitian, and then there's me, Pam, personal trainer, nutritional lifestyle counselor. So we have developed a program called Better Choices that aids people in knowing, basically guidance on, nutrition, your nutrition on a daily basis, meal planning, exercise and how to modify exercise so that it fits in with you. And then what important supplementation there is, because even the FDA has said a while back that we have to supplement to maintain health instead of just surviving. So check out our Better Choices program. But Dawn, today I really want to ask you about being a registered dietitian. I know you can answer this, but carbs have been demonized. It's like carbs are horrible. I'm avoiding carbs. That's the big thing you hear all over the thing now. And I know there are certain carbs, certain foods that are carbohydrates, but they have a lot of good nutrients in them, a lot of things our body can use. Share a little bit with you being a registered dietitian about, first of all, why are some of those carbs so important and why should we keep them in our diet? And then let's talk a little bit about what the good carbs, I hate to say good and bad. I hate to do that, but what the healthier carbs are for you and how you can get those into your diet.
Yeah, so I think this is such an important tip today to include them. And when we leave out carbs, and there's different kinds of carbs, right? So let's just say fruits, vegetables, grains, all have carbs in them. They also have protein in them. So they're not, one and nothing else. But I think carbs, we overdid it years ago. It was all about 50 to 60% of your diet from carbs, maybe higher. That wasn't necessary. So it's not no carbs to be healthy. It's definitely less carbs to be healthy. But like you said, Pam, which carbs? And I think the thing I'd like to point out today is those carbs that are maybe considered starchy, complex. They're not vegetables, they're not fruits. They're more along the line of grains. So important. And this is why the brain prefers that source for energy. The body likes that source for energy in terms of carbs, not protein for energy. Protein has other uses, but carbohydrates are really our best energy source. And also in terms of moving our bowels, I think we probably struggle more today because we have really left carbs out. And one of the things good carbs have, or healthy carbs, is fiber. And that's essential to get your gut to move. A couple of things to think about are some different grains. Grains are starchy foods, or complex carbohydrates aren't just potatoes and rice. So I know those are the go-tos, but thinking about quinoa has 8 grams of protein also per cup. Wild rice, 6 grams of protein per cup, as well as fiber for both of those, fiber in all of these things. Sorghum has 20 grams of protein per cup. Farro, 12 grams of protein per cup. And I think that really is the happy medium. It's not no carbs. It's not a ton of carbs. It's in the middle where we have healthy carbs that also have fiber, that also have some protein. And it's more that balanced intake, which levels out our blood sugar. If we're just eating something that's very high, and especially simple carbohydrates, we skyrocket the blood sugar, the insulin meets it, we start to become insulin resistant over time. We cause ourselves problems in terms of weight and health. But getting back down to, yes, we still need carbs. Which kind? What's in there? What's good for me? I think that's really what we need to be talking about today.
Well, and I think with carbs too, people forget, like you said, vegetables, fruits, those are carbohydrates too. And one of the things that's in there, along with the grains you're talking about, is nutrients.
Right.
Nutrients for your body. There are nutrients that fuel your body. And like you were talking about with the brain, fueling the organ functions, fueling everything. And those nutrients are essential for us. So cutting out carbs, you're actually cutting out nutrients for your body too.
That's right. You're cutting out all those good things that you need. So yes, we need to eat less carbs. There you go. But we certainly need to include them because of the nutrition, the fiber, the effect they have on our bodies, all of that. So important to include healthy carbs.
And I think real quick, it would be good for you because not everybody really totally understands because they think a carb is a carb. We talked and you really did cover the complex carbohydrates, but you meant simple carbohydrates, which have a quick uptake. And so have that effect on you, where you have that big high and then that big low and the insulin issues that come up with it. Maybe list some of what we're talking about when we talk about simple carbs, just to people don't get that. A carb is not a carb is not a carb.
Right. So even fruit juices but anything that's high in sugar, some of the drinks we eat, the desserts, those are all the simple carbs that they don't have any fiber with them. They don't have any protein with them. They don't have any nutrition with them. So they skyrocket our blood sugar when we eat them, which is going to lead to a crash. But that in between effect on our insulin really is devastating for the body over time. So this is not to say don't eat any simple carbs. If you want a simple carb, the best time to eat it is after a meal or after an exercise session. Those are really the best times because of the way the body's going to use it to fuel the muscle. And that's really the best use, to fuel the brain and fuel the muscle. So simple carbs are those sugary foods that we eat sometimes too much of.
Yep. Used to be the staple. Awesome. Great tips. Thanks, Dawn. And thanks for tuning into Tip Tuesday. I guarantee you'll even have a better tip next week.
Absolutely.